No walls, no door, no lock, just open ground, a small fire, and the dark pressing in. Compare that to tonight. You lock your door before you sleep. Click, bolt, chain. 3 layers between you and the dark. Now imagine all of that gone. Somewhere close, something with teeth is awake too. For most of human history, this was every single night. So what actually stopped a predator from walking in? The answer is not luck. It is a system. A system that still runs inside your body right now. The world outside the firelight was full of teeth. Cave lions were larger than modern lions, large enough to make a sleeping human easy prey. Hyenas moved in groups and followed scent through the dark. A sleeping camp was not invisible to them. Leopards climbed, struck, and vanished before anyone could react. Caves seem like the obvious shelter. They were not. Cave lions, bears, and hyenas already lived inside them. A cave could trap you, with the very predator you feared. So early humans built their safety somewhere else. In the open, around fire. Fire was not just warmth. It was the first wall ever built. Many predators hesitate around open flame. Not because fire is magic, because flame, smoke, light, and awake humans make risk visible. Smoke confuses their sense of smell. Light from a fire circle pushes the darkness back. Just far enough. Far enough to see eyes before they got close. Far enough to react before claws reached skin. Fire alone could not watch all night. It does not sleep, but it does not see either. Something else had to fill that gap. Something built into the group itself. At Gesher Benot Ya'aqov, archaeologists found evidence of repeated fire use. The burned flint was clustered in specific places. That means fire was not random. It was organized space, a center that changed how humans used the night. These were nightly dangers, not occasional ones. Humans do not sleep well alone. They sleep well in numbers. A lone sleeper is an easy target. A group is not. Inside a group, someone is almost always stirring, shifting, half listening. This was not an accident. It was a pattern, repeated across cultures across the world. Modern researchers wanted to know if that pattern was real, or just a comforting idea. So they walked into one of the last hunter-gatherer camps. Left on Earth, in Tanzania, the Hadza still live by hunting and gathering, much as humans did for most of history. In 2017, David Samson and Charlie Nunn studied the Hadza. They wanted to know how they actually slept. They expected to find quiet nights. They found something stranger. Across 20 days of recorded sleep, there was only one moment, when every single adult was asleep at the same time. That moment lasted 18 minutes. 18 minutes out of 20 entire days. For 99.8% of every night, someone was awake, or close to it. No one assigned a night watch. No one volunteered for guard duty. It happened automatically, built into their biology. Some people are wired to fall asleep early and wake before dawn. Others are wired to stay up late and sleep in. Modern life calls this a sleep type, sometimes even a problem. Among the Hadza, it created something else, a rolling, unbroken watch. Picture one night in camp. The fire has burned down to coals. An older man lies awake, listening to the wind move through the grass. A teenager shifts in her sleep, eyes opening briefly at a sound in the dark. A child sleeps deeply between 2 adults, fully unaware of any danger. Somewhere beyond the firelight, a hyena calls. 3 people stir without fully waking. By morning, no one remembers deciding to listen. The watch simply happened. Someone is always near the edge of consciousness, even if no one decided it should be them. Samson and Nunn called this the Sentinel Hypothesis. Different chronotypes were not differences to fix. They were a defense system distributed across the group. Night owls and early risers were never broken. They were shifts in a watch that never had to be scheduled. That 18-minute window is the closest humans have come, in the wild, to a camp with nobody watching. Across the full 20-night study, sleep became something like a relay, passed silently from one person to the next. There is a second piece to this system. Hidden inside your own sleep architecture, humans sleep less than almost any other primate, and less deeply. Chimpanzees and gorillas spend far longer in deep sleep. Humans cannot afford that. Samson and Nunn called this the sleep intensity hypothesis. Human sleep is shorter and compressed, packed into fewer hours of real unconsciousness. Deep sleep stages are compressed. REM cycles run faster and more efficiently. This did not happen by accident. It happened because of where humans started sleeping. For millions of years, ancestors of humans slept in trees. Out of reach of ground predators, other primates can afford 12 hours of deep sleep. High in a tree, far from danger. At some point, early humans came down and stayed down. Sleeping on open ground meant sleeping reachable for the first time in millions of years. Long, heavy, defenseless sleep was no longer survivable, so sleep itself had to evolve. Faster, lighter, easier to break out of. Even now, healthy sleep cycles through lighter stages every 90 minutes, never staying deep for long. The part most people miss is this. Short, easily interrupted sleep is not a flaw in human design. It is the design. Your nervous system was built to wake up fast, not to sleep deeply through danger. That program is still running inside you. Right now, every night. You wake at 3 a.m. for no clear reason. Heart steady, senses sharp. You sleep lighter in a hotel room, in a new house, in an unfamiliar bed. Researchers call this the first night effect. Half the brain stays slightly more alert in unknown places. It is not anxiety. It is an old guard system, still checking the perimeter. If you are a night owl, you are not broken, not lazy, not wrong. You may simply be wired for late watch, the way some Hadza always were. If you wake before everyone else, you may be wired for early watch. The other half of the same system. None of it was ever a flaw to fix. It was always a role to fill. The lock on your door is new, maybe a few hundred years old. The system it replaced ran for 200,000 years, without a single mechanical part. Group, fire, sentinel, sleep itself. All working together so the species could close its eyes. Even the part of you that startles awake at a strange sound. That was never a malfunction. It was always working exactly as designed. Tonight, when you turn that lock, you are not inventing safety. You are outsourcing a job. Your ancestors did it with their own bodies, awake in the dark, watching for you.